June 4th, 1982, Israel launched a lightning invasion of Lebanon. Their stated intention, to destroy the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, which is dedicated to the establishment of a Palestinian homeland. Israeli forces rolled straight for Beirut, where its jets and artillery bombed and shelled the Lebanese capital. The brunt of the Israeli blitz fell on West Beirut, where some 10,000 PLO members lived alongside more than 500,000 Lebanese and Palestinian civilians. In July, a film crew entered West Beirut to record some of the war's effect on the civilian population.
We've been shelled constantly for the past, I've lost track of time. I think it's for the past 2 hours. The hospital was hit directly, and we've had several injured among nurses. And 2 of the visitors who were with patients have been seriously injured. One of them might lose a limb. We're not even able to use the operating rooms because the operating rooms have been hit also, and the people are just too scared to work. We need blood. We don't have blood anymore. There are no ambulances to transfer the people who are here. We're told that all our ambulances are busy. We've sent some casualties to other hospitals in passenger cars. We don't know if they got there. We've sent a team out to try and get blood during the shelling, and we don't even... And we don't know if they've got there, we don't know if they got the blood, and we don't know how we're going to get them back. We'll make it.
خلاص قلت لك بدها توجعك شوي.
يما
ايه هلا بتخف.
عم تجعلي
ايه هلا بتبطل توجعك شوي تاني وخلص تروح.
ايه ان شاء الله.
A 22-year-old secretary. She was to have been married in a month. During an air raid, her father took the family to a shelter in the basement of a school. The school was hit, and this woman's sister was killed.
The day she came, we can consider her condition very critical, and we were thinking that she might pass away.
Will she be paralyzed for life?
Yes, because you know there is a very small shrapnel that came in her spinal here, and this is why she's not going to move anymore.
Red Cross officials provided Israeli forces with detailed maps locating all of West Beirut's hospitals. Yet most of these hospitals were forced to close because of repeated Israeli bombing and shelling. 6 patients died in this hospital room when a shell crashed through the wall.
Damage to the building is not very great, but what happened inside was worse. Shrapnel just poured in to the floors. If they make a mistake with one shell, they don't make a mistake for 4 straight hours. This man was the man who was hurt worse last Sunday when the hospital was shelled. You can see he's lost his left leg all the way up from very close to the hip. This man is, he's 35 years old. He's a Syrian, a baker by trade. He came in from Syria around 2 months ago to work in a bakery, and that bakery was destroyed in the shelling. So he came here to the hospital to help with the casualties. He's very worried because he doesn't have money for prostheses. He doesn't have money for crutches. I'm trying to tell him that we will do our best to provide them with them free of charge. but there are a lot of limbs that one has to replace in this country.
In Beirut in the summer of 1982, everything was in short supply. The Israeli forces had surrounded the western sector of the city and had set up checkpoints from which they controlled access to the besieged area. They cut off medical supplies, food, electricity, fuel, and water. This bomb crater became a community well. The adjustment to physical hardship became routine after 10 weeks of repeated but unpredictable bombing. But in almost every family, someone had died or was missing.
The bombardment came from the air and the sea, from the Khaldi area, from Shuwaifat, Ali and Hamdoun, at the rate of 60 bombs a minute. How can a human be aware of anything? We left everything and escaped miraculously. But as for our sons, we know nothing of what happened to them. If they died in the bombing, or are they still alive, we don't know.
No one could keep track of the other. What happened to my children? I don't know. I just don't know.
عندي واحد 19
One son, Walid, is 19 years old, and the other, Samir, is 18.
أكيد الأم يمكن بدها
The mother would give up her own life, but would not give up her children. But we were confused. We could not think. Where is the conscience of this world? Where?
In the mosques and in the churches, people prayed for the same thing: stop the bombing.
These children with me are really great. Well, when the bombing first started, they saw all the glass crash on our unit. They saw a bomb fall and hit a place just a few yards from the place. And they were all crying and they were taken down. The very next day there's another air raid. Everybody's scared. They're in the bottom floor, which isn't underground. And these children got out the tobacco and started to try to sing louder than the bombs. I only have one boy with me who has bad nightmares, and they're worse when it's really tense. Others, I think it's much more subtle. You know, they just try to cope. But what it does in the long run, I hate to think.
bombing and shelling was relentless. Israel's sophisticated U.S.-made F-15 jets were unhampered by the PLO's primitive anti-aircraft weapons. No Israeli planes were hit as they bombed and strafed West Beirut at will. Each bombing meant more homeless people. Every available space was converted into shelter. Children were separated from parents, parents from children. Mothers searched the makeshift camps, hoping to find their own.
What am I going to do? We are from Shatila refugee camp. A rocket hit our home and destroyed it. For 1 month and 20 days, I have not heard a thing about my sons. We have been living in the shelter for the last month and a half. This is our destiny. This is the destiny of the Palestinians. I am here with my young children. But I do not know what has happened to my older ones.
On TV, a Lebanese army officer explains the dangers of unexploded anti-personnel bombs to the children of Beirut.
Children play with these objects thinking it is a cigarette lighter. When it explodes, it kills them. Any child standing within a distance of 10 to 12 meters is lost. The second type of explosives we named the bat. This bomb has wings. When a person tries to remove it from the front of their house, the bomb explodes in the air and kills the person and those around him. The third type of explosives are like footballs. It has 2 capsules. When children play with them, they explode in 2 stages. The first stage might kill a child, while the delayed second might kill others.
These are 2 brothers, Isa, age 11, and Ali, age 8, who were both injured by shrapnel from a cluster bomb. But it is something that the younger boy picked up from the beaches, a small golden toy-like object. And it exploded when the older boy told him that this was something dangerous to handle and threw it on the ground and injured both of them. A large number of the patients that we have received have been patients who've been injured by objects that they picked up from the ground. The kind of injuries that we've seen in these past few weeks are very different from what we've seen at any time in the past 7.5 years. I mean, we've been used to before to shells, mortar shells, to bullets. We've not been used to air bombs. We've not been used to phosphorus bombs. We've not been used to getting people in bits and pieces, which is what we've been getting in. We've not been used to the very large proportion of people who come in severely mutilated.
The destruction of West Beirut's buildings forced medical teams to establish underground hospitals. In a subterranean garage, Norwegian medical volunteers treated bombing victims, including those hit by phosphorus bombs. Phosphorus penetrates the skin and burns inward into the tissue and bone, causing acute pain.
It's very difficult to have it clean here. And but we try to get it better and better every day, but it's very difficult because this is in the garage, you know, underground.
I was visiting her cousin in the hospital. I left this child to play outside. A bomb must have fallen and hit the child. I carried her to the emergency ward.
This man was probably hit by a landmine in some way, and it blasted off his feet. Both feet has been severely destroyed. His left lower leg was traumatically fractured. He had a shrapnel of this size in his left knee with a severe bleeding, and his left femur, the bone of the femur, was traumatically broken. In addition to that, his eyes were injured. They have been operated on, and he has burns and facial lesions in addition to that. Conditions are such that infection and the general conditions will force us to be more radical in the surgery, and we are pretty convinced that we shall have to make amputation pretty high up on this guy, losing both his feet. Quite a large amount are dead on arrival, and the previous Norwegian surgical crew found some 50% mortality, which is a very high percentage indeed, and we have proofs that the cluster bombs and anti-personnel weapons used by the Israelis are disastrous to human beings, and we have seen lots of these injuries, and it's very little we can do with them after all. So it's some sort of, it seems to be the guinea pigs of the United States new weaponry, these people, and they are really trying out their weapons to see what their capacities are. The guinea pigs for the American weapon industry and some sort of the scapegoats of the whole world, these Palestinian Arab people.
Do you have any doubt that this is a terror campaign? I mean, you want to tell me that these children or the cadavers of those 2 5-day-old babies are a threat to Israel? Or does Israel now feel safe that these babies have been hurt? There are people who come in, whole families have been destroyed, have been killed, people who've lost, children who've lost their parents, parents who've lost children. Our families here are very large families. We're talking about children who are 8 to 12 to 13 children in a family. But when you have whole families exterminated like mice, there's very little that one can do in the aftermath that can console these people. I mean, what is gone is gone. Nobody can bring back the dead. What is very distressing to me now, distressing to me as a person, as a doctor, and as an American citizen also, is that this is a war that can be stopped just like that, if one person so wills it. And there's no doubt in anybody's mind that that is something that can happen. And the fact that we continue to see killing, we continue to see people maimed, I think as an American, I personally have to feel responsible for every single death and every single person who is maimed in a war that can be stopped, that does not have to be. And, you know, that's something to me that is just intolerable, and I just don't know how to deal with that.
Who is this one person?
President of the United States. He has the power. He just needs the will.
After 10 weeks, President Reagan finally telephoned Menachem Begin, and the siege of Beirut appeared to have ended. The Israelis did not destroy the PLO, which left Beirut under international agreement. More than 18,000 civilians were dead, over 30,000 wounded, and hundreds of thousands homeless, by mid-August the violence had abated. Then, on September 13th, the president-elect, Bashir Gemayel, was assassinated. On September 15th, Israeli Defense Forces, who had entered Beirut, dispatched right-wing Lebanese militiamen into the refugee camps of Sabra and Shatila. Once inside, they murdered hundreds of men, women, and children. Report from Beirut, summer 1982.